What if Hinata was on Team 7? A shy girl with hidden strength, a loud ninja with big dreams, and a genius carrying a heavy past. Together, they could change everything. Let's see how their story unfolds. The story began much like the original timeline. Naruto Uzumaki, a boisterous and determined underdog, had just graduated from the ninja academy. He was ecstatic about finally becoming a genin, despite barely scraping through the graduation test. However, the dynamics of his world shifted when the announcement of the genin teams was made. Irika-sensei stood at the front of the classroom, his clipboard in hand, reading out the team assignments. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Hinata Hyuga. The room erupted into murmurs. Hinata, shy and reserved, wasn't known for her strength or confidence. Pairing her with two of the most unpredictable individuals in the class was an eyebrow-raising decision. Naruto jumped out of his seat, pointing a finger at Irika. Wait. You mean I'm stuck with him? He jabbed a thumb in Sasuke's direction, glaring at his longtime rival. And her? Naruto's tone softened slightly, his confusion evident as he glanced at Hinata, who shrank under the attention. Sasuke leaned back in his chair, smirking. Great, just what I need. A loudmouth and someone who can barely speak without stuttering. Hinata's cheeks flushed a deep red, and she lowered her head, fiddling with her fingers. Naruto, however, bristled at Sasuke's comment. You want to say that again, team? Enough, Irika said, his voice firm. This is your team. Learn to work together. The trio met their sensei, Kakashi Hatake, later that day. As Kakashi arrived, hours late as usual, he was greeted by a mix of expressions: Naruto's impatience, Sasuke's indifference, and Hinata's nervousness. Kakashi's single visible eye curved into an amused expression as he took in the group. An interesting mix, he muttered. All right, let's head to the roof. Once there, Kakashi leaned casually against the railing. Let's start with introductions. Your names, likes, dislikes, dreams, that sort of thing. Naruto eagerly went first, launching into his usual declaration of becoming Hokage and earning everyone's respect. Sasuke followed, his tone cold and focused as he talked about his goal to avenge his clan and kill a certain someone. When it was Hinata's turn, she hesitated, her voice barely above a whisper. And my name is Hinata Hyuga. I like, training with my father and spending time in nature. I dislike conflict. My dream is, her voice trailed off, her gaze flickering to Naruto for a brief moment before she quickly looked away. Naruto tilted his head, clearly puzzled, but didn't press. Kakashi, however, noticed the brief glance and filed it away for later. The first test as Team 7 was Kakashi's infamous bell test. The rules were simple. Get one of the two bells from Kakashi by any means necessary. The catch? There were only two bells, ensuring that one member would be sent back to the academy. As the test began, Naruto charged headfirst, yelling at the top of his lungs. Kakashi sidestepped easily, his relaxed demeanor never wavering. Rule number 1 of being a ninja, Kakashi said, blocking another of Naruto's wild punches, think before you act. Meanwhile, Sasuke stayed hidden, observing Kakashi's movements and waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Hinata, on the other hand, struggled to decide her approach. Her byakugan gave her an advantage, but her lack of confidence held her back. Naruto was quickly disarmed and left dangling upside down from a tree. As he flailed, yelling about how unfair the test was, Hinata couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt. She knew she couldn't leave him like that. Activating her byakugan, she moved carefully through the trees, her eyes tracking Kakashi's chakra. Sasuke, noticing her movements, scoffed but decided to follow her lead. Hinata's sharp vision allowed her to spot an opening. She relayed the information to Sasuke, her voice soft but steady. He's distracted. If we attack together. Sasuke raised an eyebrow, surprised at her suggestion. Fine, but don't slow me down. Their combined assault caught Kakashi off guard, if only for a moment. Sasuke's precision and Hinata's enhanced perception forced Kakashi to step up his game. However, he quickly regained control, neutralizing their attack with ease. As the test continued, the team slowly began to realize the true purpose of the exercise. It wasn't about the bells, it was about teamwork. When Hinata suggested they work together with Naruto, Sasuke was reluctant, but Hinata's quiet determination convinced him. The trio launched a coordinated attack, and though they didn't manage to get the bells, their efforts impressed Kakashi. He declared them worthy of becoming genin, citing their teamwork as the deciding factor. From that moment, the dynamics of Team 7 began to shift. Hinata's presence brought a new element to the team. Her gentle nature often diffused tension between Naruto and Sasuke, while her keen observation skills proved invaluable during missions. For Naruto, having Hinata on the team was a subtle yet significant change. Her quiet encouragement and unwavering belief in him, though often unnoticed, planted the seeds of a deeper bond. And for Hinata, being on Team 7 was a chance to grow, not just as a ninja, but as a person. Though her feelings for Naruto remained a secret, her resolve to support her teammates never wavered. The days that followed the team assignment were nothing short of chaotic. Naruto's enthusiasm never wavered, even if his new teammates were less than thrilled. His mind raced with the idea of finally being a part of Team 7. But now, he had to work with Sasuke, who barely acknowledged him, and Hinata, who barely spoke a word. Training with the team began the following week under the watchful eye of their new sensei, Kakashi Hatake. The first morning was filled with the usual awkwardness. Sasuke stood in his usual aloof stance, leaning against a tree as if the world around him was beneath his notice. Hinata was fidgeting with her fingers, her gaze cast downward as she nervously shifted on her feet. And then there was Naruto, bouncing with energy, already eager to show off his skills. "All right, Team 7, Kakashi said lazily, still reading his book. "Today, we'll start with a simple test. You're going to be paired up for a challenge. The goal is to test your teamwork, so no solo acts." "Got it." Naruto pumped his fist in the air. "Teamwork? Perfect. This'll be easy for me." Sasuke merely grunted, but Hinata's hands trembled slightly as she looked between her teammates. She had never been the center of attention before, and now, having to work with these two unpredictable forces, she felt her anxiety rise. Kakashi, sensing the tension, turned the challenge into a simple sparring session. "Naruto, you'll team up with Sasuke. Hinata, you'll spar against both of them." Naruto's eyes widened. "Wait, what? Hinata's gonna fight us both?" Hinata's heart skipped a beat at the idea. She had always been timid, used to being overshadowed by others, and the thought of fighting the two strongest genin in her class was terrifying. Her body trembled, but she quickly shook her head, trying to focus on the task ahead. "You can do this, Hinata," Naruto encouraged, his voice more sincere than usual. "Don't worry, I'm not going to hold back. Just show them what you've got." Sasuke raised an eyebrow. "This should be interesting." Hinata nodded slowly, taking a deep breath to steady her nerves. She wasn't sure what to expect from herself, but she couldn't back down now. The moment she stepped onto the battlefield, the wind seemed to shift. The spar began, and Hinata quickly proved she was no ordinary shinobi. With fluid movements, she activated her byakugan, the veins around her eyes bulging slightly as she darted toward Naruto and Sasuke. Her speed caught them both off guard. Naruto, used to being the fastest, was stunned by how quickly she closed the distance. Sasuke, usually the calculating one, found himself on the defensive as Hinata's gentle fist strikes forced him to adapt in ways he wasn't used to. Naruto's grin spread wide. "Whoa, Hinata, you're amazing." Sasuke, however, wasn't as enthusiastic. "She's more of a problem than I thought." Hinata's cheeks turned pink, but she kept her focus, her movements graceful and precise. She was shy and reserved, but on the battlefield, she felt free, like a different version of herself. Her confidence grew with each passing moment. The match ended in a draw. Exhausted but not defeated, Hinata stood tall, her head slightly lowered, but there was a new light in her eyes. She hadn't just survived. She had held her own. Kakashi, who had been watching from the sidelines, lowered his book and gave a rare smile. Well, that was a surprising display of teamwork and strength. "Hinata, you've got potential." Naruto clapped Hinata on the back, laughing. "See? I told you you could do it." Sasuke merely nodded, a hint of respect in his eyes that he hadn't shown before. Not bad. For a girl who can't even speak without stammering. Hinata smiled faintly, her heart swelling with a mix of pride and relief. Maybe she could do this after all. Maybe she could fit in with her team. It wasn't going to be easy, far from it, but for the first time, she didn't feel like she was invisible. The training continued, and though their personalities clashed at times, a strange bond began to form. Naruto's boisterous nature kept the group moving forward. Sasuke's quiet strength drove them to be better, and Hinata's unyielding resolve gave them a sense of balance. And as the days turned into weeks, it became clear. Team 7 wasn't just about three ninja trying to get along. It was about trust, growth, and the formation of something greater. Hinata was no longer just the shy Hyuga heiress. She was a part of Team 7, and together, they would face whatever challenges came their way. But even as the trio trained together, the question remained. Would their bond be strong enough to face the dangers awaiting them on the path to becoming true shinobi? The weeks passed quickly as Team 7 grew stronger together. Their missions, though small at first, tested them in ways they hadn't imagined. From simple escort missions to finding lost animals, the trio faced obstacles that pushed them to their limits. But despite the tension, something remarkable was happening. Naruto and Sasuke, who had once been at odds with each other, were beginning to understand the value of teamwork, thanks to Hinata. Her quiet determination was contagious. Naruto's constant enthusiasm started to rub off on Sasuke, and Sasuke's quiet focus grounded Naruto's reckless abandon. But it was Hinata's steady presence that truly brought them together. In moments of doubt, she would step in, offering her support, and that was enough to make the team feel like more than just a collection of individuals. One day, as they returned from a mission, Kakashi assigned them a particularly difficult task, a test of their abilities. This time, the challenge wasn't about strength or speed. It was about their bond as a team. Kakashi smiled beneath his mask, watching them from a distance. "All right, Team 7, he called out. "Your mission today is a bit different. I want to see how well you can protect each other." Naruto's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Protect each other? That's easy." Kakashi raised an eyebrow. "We'll see about that." With a swift motion, he tossed a series of shuriken into the air. The sharp blades scattered across the forest in all directions. Sasuke immediately reacted, his sharingan flaring to life as he deflected a few of the incoming projectiles with pinpoint precision. But the barrage wasn't over. More shuriken came, and this time, Kakashi appeared behind them, moving too quickly for any of them to track. Naruto's usual loud antics were nowhere to be found as he focused entirely on the task at hand. "Hinata, get to cover," he yelled, his voice sharp with urgency. Hinata's byakugan activated in a flash, her pale eyes scanning the area as she stepped in front of Naruto, deflecting a shuriken that was headed straight for him. "I won't let you get hurt," she said quietly but with fierce determination. Her movements were precise and flawless, each strike guided by the inner strength she had been building. Sasuke didn't hesitate to help either, his own skill in battle a perfect complement to Hinata's. Together, they formed a shield around Naruto, who was ready to throw himself into the fight at any moment. The test lasted for what felt like hours, but in reality, it was only a few minutes. When Kakashi finally called for them to stop, they were all panting heavily, but none of them were injured. "Well, that was unexpected," Kakashi said, his voice laced with approval. "You all did well. Hinata, I must say, your control over your byakugan is impressive. You've come a long way since the academy." Hinata blinked in surprise. "Thank you, sensei. I just wanted to make sure I could keep up." Naruto grinned, slinging his arm around her shoulders. "You did more than keep up, Hinata. You were awesome." Sasuke merely nodded, his respect for her evident, even if he didn't express it in words. Not bad for a girl who used to be invisible. Hinata's heart fluttered at the unexpected compliment. She had spent so much time in the shadow of others, always the quiet one. But now, for the first time, she felt like she was a part of something bigger, a team that valued her not just for her abilities, but for who she was. As their missions grew more dangerous, Team 7 found themselves facing real threats. They were sent on high-risk missions, tasked with protecting Konoha from rogue ninja, dealing with dangerous criminals, and even rescuing kidnapped villagers. Through it all, Hinata's skills and growth continued to shine. She learned how to use her byakugan more efficiently, her gentle fist techniques growing sharper, and her confidence blossoming in each battle. But it wasn't just her combat abilities that had improved. Her bond with Naruto and Sasuke deepened, and despite their differences, they had begun to trust each other in ways that neither had anticipated. For Hinata, that trust was everything. One day, after a particularly grueling mission, they found themselves sitting around a campfire, resting and recovering. Naruto, ever the optimist, broke the silence with his usual loud voice. "You know, this is the best team ever. We've got strength, strategy, and, brains." He shot a playful glance at Sasuke, who was leaning against a tree, his expression unreadable as usual. Sasuke rolled his eyes but couldn't hide the faintest hint of a smirk. "You never change, do you?" Hinata smiled softly, gazing at her teammates. It was hard to believe how far they had all come in such a short time. She was no longer just the shy girl from the Hyuga clan. She was a member of Team 7, standing side by side with two of the most powerful ninja in the village. And for the first time in her life, she felt like she truly belonged. As the fire crackled, Naruto turned to Hinata. "Hey, Hinata, you've been amazing lately. You're really strong. Maybe we can finally do something together after all this. Like, hang out outside of missions?" Hinata's heart skipped a beat. She had always admired Naruto's straightforwardness, but hearing him say that meant more to her than he could ever know. I'd like that," she said softly, her voice just barely audible. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Naruto to smile, wide and genuine. They still had a long road ahead of them, but with their teamwork and the bonds they were forming, there was no doubt they could overcome anything that came their way. Team 7's success continued as they tackled increasingly difficult missions. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, and Hinata's role within the group evolved. Though she remained the shy, reserved girl from the Hyuga clan, her confidence had blossomed alongside her strength, and her teammates started to recognize her as an equal. One particular mission would test their teamwork in ways they hadn't anticipated. Kakashi appeared before them, his expression unusually serious. "Team 7, I have an important mission for you. It's a reconnaissance mission that will require all of your skills. We've received word of a rogue ninja operating in the outskirts of the village. This ninja is dangerous, and I need you all to be prepared." Naruto immediately perked up. "A rogue ninja? Sounds like a blast." Sasuke narrowed his eyes. "We need to be cautious. There's no telling how strong they are." Hinata nodded, her face set in determination. "I'll be ready." Kakashi handed them their mission details. "We're going to have to move quickly. The mission area is on the edge of the Land of Fire, near the border. Be prepared for anything." The trio packed their gear and set off, their pace swift and focused. As they neared the mission area, the atmosphere shifted. There was an unsettling tension in the air. The forest was dense, the trees thick with shadows, and the faint rustle of leaves only heightened the unease. "Stay alert," Kakashi instructed, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "The rogue ninja we're after is skilled in stealth, so don't let your guard down." Hinata's byakugan flared to life as she took a cautious look around. "I can't sense anyone nearby, but there's something strange about this place." Naruto grinned. "Don't worry, Hinata. We've got this. Let's just find the guy and kick his butt." Sasuke didn't respond, but his eyes flickered with anticipation. He wasn't one to openly show excitement, but he too was eager for the challenge. The deeper they ventured into the forest, the more tense the atmosphere became. It was as though they were walking into a trap. Suddenly, a shadow darted across their path, so fast that it was almost impossible to track with the naked eye. Before they could react, a barrage of kunai rained down on them from above. Kakashi quickly jumped into action, deflecting most of the projectiles with his own kunai. "Scatter," he commanded. Naruto was the first to charge forward, his determination blazing in his eyes. "I'll take him head-on." "Wait, Naruto," Hinata shouted, her voice firm. "It's too dangerous to go in alone." But Naruto, as always, was already in motion. Hinata's heart pounded as she watched him rush ahead, only to find herself unable to keep up with his reckless charge. "Damn it, Naruto," Sasuke muttered, but he quickly followed, moving with precise and calculated steps. Hinata hesitated for a moment, unsure if she could be of any help, but as she looked at her teammates, she knew she couldn't let them down. Her byakugan remained active as she sprinted after them, keeping an eye out for any signs of the rogue ninja's movements. The rogue ninja emerged from the shadows, a figure clad in black, his face hidden behind a mask. His eyes gleamed with malice as he looked at the approaching trio. "You're too late," he sneered. "I've already prepared everything." Before they could react, the ground beneath them exploded, sending rocks and debris flying in every direction. Kakashi quickly shielded Naruto and Sasuke with a protective jutsu, but Hinata was caught off guard. A piece of rubble struck her leg, knocking her to the ground. Naruto immediately turned back, concern flashing across his face. "Hinata, I'm okay," she replied, pushing herself up, but there was a sharp pain in her leg. She gritted her teeth and activated her byakugan again, scanning for the rogue ninja. He's gone. He's already moved further in." Sasuke, now standing beside her, eyed the battlefield carefully. "We'll have to flush him out." Kakashi looked at his team, his expression unreadable. "Hinata, you're injured. You should stay back and let the rest of us handle this." But Hinata shook her head, her resolve stronger than ever. "I'm not letting you do this without me. I'll help. I won't slow you down." Naruto, though still concerned, gave her an encouraging smile. "I know you won't, Hinata. We've got this together." With no more time to argue, the team moved forward, their eyes scanning the area for any sign of the rogue ninja. But the deeper they went into the forest, the more apparent it became that they were walking into a trap. The rogue ninja reappeared from the shadows, his grin wide as he revealed his weapon. A massive, dark chakra-infused sword. "You'll never defeat me. Not with a team like yours." Hinata's eyes narrowed. This wasn't just a rogue ninja. It was someone who had clearly been training in dark arts. She could feel the malevolent chakra radiating from him. Naruto clenched his fists. "We've faced tougher guys before. We can do this." Sasuke moved into position, his sharingan activated. "Stay back, Hinata. This won't be easy." But Hinata shook her head, stepping forward. "I'm not just staying back anymore. This is my fight too." The rogue ninja laughed menacingly, the sound echoing through the dense forest. His dark chakra pulsed, and the ground beneath their feet trembled. It was clear that he was no ordinary rogue. His strength was formidable, and his intent was deadly. "You're all fools," he sneered, raising his chakra-infused sword. "This ends now." Naruto surged forward with a burst of speed, his determination pushing him past any fear. "I don't care how strong you are. I'm gonna stop you." Sasuke, always calm, took his position at the rear, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. His sharingan whirred as he analyzed the rogue ninja's movements. "We need to find his weak spot." Hinata, her byakugan still active, scanned the rogue ninja with precision. His chakra flow was erratic, and there was a gap in his defense, just above his left shoulder. There. His chakra is unbalanced near his left side. If we hit that spot, we might be able to break through. Naruto grinned, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "Leave it to me." He lunged forward again, his Rasengan forming in his hand as he aimed for the rogue's chest. But the rogue ninja was faster than they expected. With a swift motion, he sidestepped Naruto's attack, slashing the air with his sword. The blade's dark energy crackled, and Naruto barely managed to block it with his kunai. The force sent him stumbling backward. "Sasuke!" Naruto shouted as he regained his footing. Sasuke, knowing the rogue would strike again, moved in swiftly. He was already one step ahead, his sharingan predicting the rogue's next move. In an instant, Sasuke was beside him, delivering a powerful kick to the rogue's side. But the rogue's sword flared with dark energy, deflecting the blow with a violent swing. Hinata, still holding her position, saw her chance. She dashed forward, using her speed and the precision of her byakugan to land a devastating blow to the rogue's left side, the weak point she had detected. The rogue ninja let out a strangled cry, staggering back as the impact sent waves of pain through his body. His sword faltered for a moment, and that was all the opening Team 7 needed. Naruto didn't hesitate. He charged in with a yell, summoning his shadow clones to create a barrage of attacks. Sasuke followed suit, using his superior speed and precision to close in on the rogue. In a coordinated strike, both Naruto and Sasuke pinned the rogue down. But even then, the rogue wasn't finished. He grinned through the pain, his hands weaving through a series of hand signs. "You think this will stop me? You've only just begun to feel my power." A pulse of dark chakra exploded from the rogue's body, knocking Team 7 back. The rogue had unleashed his trump card, a surge of destructive chakra that was aimed directly at them. Hinata was the first to react. Her byakugan flared to its peak as she recognized the danger of the rogue's chakra surge. "Watch out!" she shouted, her voice full of urgency. In a split second, she was at Naruto's side, grabbing his arm and pulling him out of the blast radius. Sasuke, too, was already moving, dodging the rogue's attack with his incredible speed. The rogue ninja's chakra blast disintegrated the ground where they had been standing moments before. The force of the explosion created a shockwave that sent trees crashing down in every direction. Hinata, still holding Naruto's arm, looked around in horror. "Is everyone okay?" Naruto, wide-eyed but undeterred, grinned through the dust. "Yeah, we're fine. That was awesome." Sasuke's expression remained cold, but there was a flicker of respect in his eyes. He's not going to hold back any longer. "Be prepared." Kakashi, who had been silently observing the battle, stepped forward, his voice calm but filled with authority. "Team 7, you've proven yourselves up until now. But this rogue is no ordinary ninja. We're going to have to work together to defeat him." Hinata nodded, her expression determined. "I won't let you down, sensei." Naruto, always the optimist, clenched his fists. "Let's finish this." Sasuke's eyes narrowed. "Let's end it." With a new surge of resolve, Team 7 prepared for the final clash. The rogue ninja, still reeling from Hinata's earlier strike, slowly got to his feet, his anger evident in his bloodshot eyes. "This is far from over," he growled, raising his sword once more. Hinata, already poised and ready, stepped forward. "It's over for you," she said quietly but firmly, her voice full of the newfound strength she had gained from her teammates. Kakashi watched them, his expression unreadable, but his pride in his team was undeniable. This was the moment that would define them. The atmosphere crackled with tension as the rogue ninja stood, his chakra pulsing ominously in the air. His dark energy had turned the once peaceful forest into a war zone. Despite the odds, Team 7 remained undeterred. This was their fight now. The rogue sneered, his grip tightening around his sword. "You think you can defeat me? I've trained for years. I'm not some weakling you can just brush aside." Hinata, her byakugan active, studied his every movement, her mind working to predict his next strike. "His chakra is unstable. If we hit him in the right spot, we might end this." Naruto's grin never faltered, his confidence unwavering. "Then let's do it, Hinata. I'll go first." With that, he dashed forward, his speed unmatched as he sent a barrage of shadow clones toward the rogue. Sasuke, his sharingan activated, moved in at the same time, calculating the perfect angle of attack. "Stay out of my way, Naruto," he muttered, his kunai flashing in the light. Hinata, ever the cautious one, stood back, her senses sharp. She could feel the rogue's chakra building. "Watch out," she warned, just as the rogue swung his sword with devastating force. The rogue's blade clashed with Naruto's clones, dispersing them into nothingness. But Naruto didn't stop. He moved with the flow of battle, weaving around the rogue's attacks and pushing him back. "Too slow," Naruto shouted, his Rasengan forming in his hand once again. With a surge of energy, he thrust the ball of spiraling chakra toward the rogue. But the rogue ninja anticipated the move, and with a swift, fluid motion, he blocked Naruto's attack with his sword, the dark chakra around the blade repelling the Rasengan. The force of the clash sent Naruto flying backward, but he landed gracefully, bouncing back to his feet with a laugh. "Not bad." Sasuke, seizing the opportunity, darted in, striking with deadly precision. His kunai moved like a blur, aiming for the rogue's chest. But the rogue, now fully enraged, swung his sword again, knocking Sasuke back with a burst of chakra-infused energy. "You think you can beat me with your little tricks?" The rogue spat, his eyes glowing with fury. Hinata's focus never wavered. She had been watching, waiting for the perfect moment, and now she saw it. The rogue's chakra flow was unstable. He was overexerting himself, pushing too much energy into his attacks. This was the opening she had been waiting for. With a burst of speed, Hinata dashed forward, her byakugan flaring with intensity. She aimed for the rogue's weak spot, the left shoulder she had previously noticed. Her fingers struck with precise accuracy, delivering a debilitating blow to the rogue's chakra network. The rogue let out a strangled cry, his sword dropping as his energy faltered. He staggered back, struggling to maintain his composure. "That's it," Hinata said quietly, her voice unwavering. "Your time's up." Kakashi, who had been observing from the sidelines, took a step forward. "Team 7, it's time to finish this." Naruto and Sasuke were already moving, their attacks synchronized in perfect harmony. Sasuke's sharingan allowed him to predict the rogue's every move, while Naruto's wild, unrestrained energy was the perfect counterbalance. Together, they cornered the rogue, each strike pushing him further back. Hinata moved in next to them, her byakugan guiding her every move. In a flash, she aimed a precise strike at the rogue's chakra core, her fingers glowing with chakra as she targeted his vulnerable spots. The rogue let out a final scream, the dark chakra in his body collapsing as Hinata's chakra disrupted his flow completely. He fell to the ground, unconscious and completely defeated. The forest was silent. The battle was over. Naruto, panting but grinning widely, slapped Sasuke on the back. "We did it, team. Team 7 wins again." Sasuke merely gave a small smirk, nodding in acknowledgement. "Yeah, but don't get too cocky." Hinata, though, was calm. She had done her part, and now, with the battle won, she allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. "We did it together." Kakashi stepped forward, his usual laid-back demeanor returning. "I'm proud of you all. You showed a lot of growth today, especially you, Hinata." Hinata blinked, surprised by the compliment. I still have a lot to learn, sensei." Kakashi chuckled. "We all do. But today, you prove that you're more than just the shy girl from the Hyuga clan. You're a powerful ninja, and a crucial member of Team 7. Naruto grinned. "Yeah, you're like the secret weapon. No one expected you to be so strong, Hinata." Hinata blushed but smiled softly, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. For the first time, she felt truly accepted by her teammates, not just for her abilities, but for who she was. As they made their way back to the village, their mission completed, the bond between them had strengthened even further. They weren't just a team anymore. They were a family, each of them vital to the success of the group. And for Hinata, this was just the beginning of her journey. She had found her place, not just as a member of Team 7, but as a strong, independent ninja who had the potential to change the course of their destiny. Team 7 returned to the village victorious, but there was no time to relax. Kakashi led them to the Hokage's office, where they were debriefed about the rogue ninja they had just defeated. The Hokage nodded approvingly as he listened to their report, but there was an uneasy tension in the air. "You've done well, Team 7, the Hokage said, his voice grave. "But this mission was just the beginning. There are bigger threats out there, and we need to be ready." Naruto's eyes lit up. "What's the next mission, old man?" he asked eagerly. The Hokage's expression darkened. "It's not just a mission. We've been getting reports of rogue ninja groups gathering in the outskirts of the Land of Fire. I need you to investigate. It's clear that someone is pulling the strings behind all of this." Sasuke's gaze sharpened. "A larger organization? Could be dangerous." Kakashi nodded. "We'll be ready. But be careful. This isn't just some low-level rogue you fought before. There's something more at play." Hinata's byakugan flared with concern. "What exactly are we dealing with?" Before the Hokage could respond, the door to the office burst open. An ANBU member, masked and breathing heavily, rushed in. "Hokage-sama, there's been a breach." We've lost contact with several outposts near the border. And there's something even stranger. An unknown force has appeared, and it's heading straight for the village. The room went deathly silent. The Hokage stood up quickly, his calm demeanor now replaced by a sense of urgency. Gather the troops. Team 7, prepare yourselves. This could be worse than we imagined. Just as they were about to leave, an explosive sound shook the entire building. The walls trembled as if the very earth beneath them had been struck with the force of a great power. What was that? Naruto shouted, his eyes wide with shock. Kakashi's face grew tense as he turned toward the door. Stay sharp. This isn't over. They rushed outside, only to see the village gates being attacked by an enormous, swirling vortex of dark chakra, swirling in the air like a storm. A figure emerged from the center of it, tall, cloaked, and emanating a presence that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand up. Impossible, Sasuke muttered under his breath. The figure turned slowly, and through the shadows of their cloak, a pair of glowing red eyes flashed. I've come for the power of the Hyuga, the figure's voice echoed across the village. And I will stop at nothing to get it. Hinata's breath caught in her throat, her heart racing. She could feel it in the air. This was no ordinary enemy. This was a force that had been waiting for the right moment to strike. Just as the figure prepared to unleash a new wave of energy, Kakashi stepped forward, his usual calm demeanor giving way to the urgency of the situation. This is just the beginning. Get ready, Team 7, as the figure raised their hand, preparing to attack. Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata braced themselves, ready to face whatever nightmare this new enemy was about to bring. Subscribe and stay hooked for the next part. The danger is only just beginning, and Team 7 has no idea what they're about to face next. Don't miss out on the next chapter of the story.